In this video tutorial, we are going to work on a Flexbox layout challenge. The goal is to create a layout that includes a horizontal navigation, a hero image, a main content area, an unordered list that will include font awesome icons, an address section, and a footer. Let's review the HTML structure. So at the top of the page, I have my doc type. I have my nav. This is my navigation. This is where my hero image is going to be. I've already given the content. All we need to do is write the CSS to include the image in here. I've added a container fluid that will give us some space on the left-hand side. This container fluid class I got from Bootstrap. We'll use Bootstrap in an upcoming lesson. We have a section that is going to have our list items in here, and we're going to go ahead and add font awesome icons to this. We'll have our address, we'll style that, and then we'll have our footer content, which is already styled and is centered. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open up the styles CSS file. And here are our CSS styles, and I've already annotated them for you so that you will know what they do. But the first one that I want to show you is what happens if I remove the margin and the padding styles at the top. This would be our reset. If I remove that, you'll see that I get this spacing up here at the top, and I want this to go all the way across the entire screen. So I'm going to just put those back in. I just wanted you to see what those are. We're going to use the Poppins font, which is going to come from Google Fonts, and Google Fonts can be added with a simple link tag in the head section of our HTML file. Review the other selectors and their property styles that I have added and the explanation. Now I did go ahead and add in a paragraph to have spaces between the paragraphs. All right, let's go back to the index page. I'm going to go to where it has line 7, and I'm going to go out to my browser, and I'm going to go to Google Fonts. And I'm just going to type in something. I'm going to type in Pacific Trails Resort. And I'm going to look for the font style script. And here is the style script font, and I'm just going to say get font. And I'm going to go back to where it has fonts, and I'm going to choose another one, and I'm going to choose Poppins. So right now you can see I have one in my cart. I'm going to look for Poppins, and I'm going to go ahead and say get font. Here's what it looks like, the Poppins font. And I'm probably not going to want all of these styles, but I'm going to say get font, and I'm going to go to the cart and view selected family. I'm going to say get embed code. And over here on the left-hand side where it says Poppins, I'm going to change the styles. And the styles that I really want are remove them all. And the styles that I want is the 400. I'll take the medium. I'll take the semi-bold as well. And here's my embed code right here. I'll select copy code. I'll go back into my Visual Studio Code, and on line 7, I'm just going to paste that in there. And I'm going to go up here and make sure word wrap is on. And then I'm going to hit the enter key so that I can put in another link tag. And I'm just going to save that for now. So my styles have changed now to the Poppins font because I've already added that into my CSS style sheet. I'm going to go out to a browser. I'm going to open up a tab. I'm going to type in CDN font awesome. And right here is the one that I want. And it comes up font awesome. So it's cdnjs.com or /libraries/font awesome. And I'm going to choose this latest one right here. And I'm going to copy the link tag. I'm going to go back into my index page, and on line 10, I'm going to just paste that in. And I'm going to save this file. Now I'm going to scroll down here to where I have my list items. And I'd like to add an icon in front of my list items. I'm going to go back out here. I'm going to open up Font Awesome. And I'm going to go to where it says Icons. And I'm going to look for an icon that is Utensils. And here's the Utensils icon. If I just hover in here, it'll say Copy Code Snippet. I'm going to go back to Visual Studio Code and where it says Relax in our lodge while enjoying complimentary appetizers and beverages. I'm actually going to put it on line 35, and I'm going to put it right after the list item. I'm going to paste in there, and now you'll see that I have this. It's pushed awfully close to that list item, but we'll go ahead and correct that in a minute. So I'm going to go back to Font Awesome, and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to type in Martini, and I'm going to use the Martini glass with citrus. I'm going to copy this. I'll go back to Visual Studio Code. Inside of the list item, I'll paste that. And I'll keep looking for the other icons that I would like to use. I will close this. A person swimming. I'll select this. The Pro ones I'm not able to select. I'm not paying for a Pro version of this software. I'll go back into Visual Studio Code and I'll paste. And the last one that I'm looking for will be hiking. I'll close this. Hiking. I'll select this one. I'll copy this. Go back to Visual Studio Code, and I'll paste that in there. And I'll save this. I want to add in a span class to give me some space between my icon and my text. So I'm going to hold down, I'm on a Windows, I'm going to hold down Control, Alt, and then I'm going to use the directional arrow key so that I can use multiple cursors. And then I'm going to type in span class FALI. And then I'm going to close this, and I'm going to hit the escape key to get out of that. Then I'm going to hold down my mouse and select the word span because I need to actually move it after the eye icon. I'm going to do Control X, and then I'm going to paste that in one at a time. So I'm going to copy that. Control C, paste, paste, and paste my last one. This is a Font Awesome class, so it's pulling actually from the CDN. So I'll save that. All right, I'm going to go over to my Styles CSS. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go down to the bottom. The first one I'm going to add is a container fluid. So this container fluid style, and this is going to add some space around the layout. So I'm going to type in width 100%, so a W 100%. I'm going to type in padding right and 15, and I'm going to type in padding left 15, and I'm using Emmet, and I'm going to type in margin right, and I have to do auto, a hyphen in auto, and margin left and auto, and I'll save that. And see, you can see I've got some spacing that goes around my content right here, and it pushes it over to the side. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. So that's by using the container fluid, and that is right here, this div that goes around my main section, and it ends at the end of my footer section. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my styles, and I'm going to add a hero image to this page. And I've already included the HTML class for each page that will have the hero image. So I'm going to add the hero image, and these are going to be the global styles that will apply to each image on all of the pages. And I'm going to do a background size, and it's going to be cover. Background position, it's going to be background position, and it's going to be center, center. My height is going to be 50 VH, and it sets the height to 50% of the viewport height. I'm going to put this as display flex. It enables Flexbox. I'm going to do justify content center. And I'm going to do align items center. And color will be white. And then the text align center for the words that are in here. Now I've already made them white, so right here is where it says white, and I don't have an image in here. So let's go ahead and add on our image for the index page. So this is going to be called Hero Home Image. And this is going to be background image, and the URL is going to be images. It's going to be the coast JPEG. All right, so now there's our hero image in there, and there is our text. We'll work on fixing this button here in a minute. But let's go ahead and add in the other images for the other pages. You'll have an activities page in here. So here's your activities page, and notice it's got an image in here. It's called Heroes Activities, and your Yurts page has one that says Yurt, and then Reservations has one as well. So let's go back in here. We'll just add those in while we're creating these hero images. So hero, Yurt, image, and I'm just going to copy this. And it's going to be Yurt. The next one is going to be .hero activities image. And I have that in my memory. And this one is going to be trail. And then the last one will be hero reservations, found image, and I'll paste that in there, and it's going to be reservations JPEG. And then if you were to look at each one of these pages now, you'll see that they have an image in there. All right. Okay, so now I've got my hero images, and let's go ahead and work on the H1. So we added in that font, which was the style script. So let's go ahead and use that. Text H1, font family, and it's going to be style script. And it doesn't matter if it's single or double quotation marks, and sans serif in case that font doesn't display. And there you go. And if you wanted to do it, use a different font weight, we'll change that font weight on a smaller screen. For this screen, it's just fine. But we'll change the font weight when we go to a smaller screen. We'll make the font size 3 rem, and we'll do a text shadow, and it'll be 5 pixels, 5 pixels, 10 pixels. RGBA of 0001. So this adds a dark shadow for some contrast. We'll go ahead and style our hero text paragraph. And we'll do the font size of 1.5 rem. And this sets our paragraph text size for that inside of our hero image. And now let's work on the hero text button. Hero text .btn. And we'll do a background color. And I'm just going to type in coral. Okay. And I'm going to do a color of white. And I'm going to do padding of 10 pixels, 20 pixels, and tab. And a border radius. Border radius 10 pixels. And I'll do a box shadow. No, space in here, that matters. It'll work. So this adds a subtle shadow. And I'm going to do a transition. And I'm going to say all and 0.03 seconds and ease. And this is a smooth transition effect. Adds a smooth transition effect. So when you go in, it'll ease in and out. Okay, so that's our hero text button. Let's add a hover state to this. Hero text.btn hover. And we're going to do a background color of 90C7E3. So when I hover over that, it's a different color. And I'm going to put a box shadow around that as well. I'm going to just remove my parameters here. And I'm going to do 0, 8 pixels, 20 pixels, RGBA, 0, 0, 0, 0.3. And this darkens the shadow on hover. I'm going to stay consistent and not have any spaces in here. And I'll save my work. Now let's work on styling the navigation bar. We will use Flexbox to align the navigation links in a horizontal row. Now, going back to my index page, if I look at my navigation, I have an unordered list class of main menu. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I'm going to type in main menu. And I'm going to go ahead and display Flex and justify content. Now there's a variety of justify content options that I can use. I'm just going to hit enter. You can do start, you can do space around, space between, space evenly. If I scroll up here, you can see what's going on. If I do space between, that's space between. If I do space evenly, I get some spacing on the left and the right side as well. So I'm going to use space evenly for this particular navigation. I'm also going to put on for links the A tag, main menu, A, a font size of 20 pixels. So it's a little large. So the display flex ensures that the list items that will be laid out in a row. Flexbox is a simpler and more efficient way to arrange elements on your web page, especially for navigation. I'm going to save my work so far, so let's go ahead and style the address. So for the address, I have a class of contact, and you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraph tags. And what I did with that is, here's my contact class. I did a margin top of 40 pixels. So I have 40 pixels up here. I have a border that's 1 pixel solid. I have padding that adds space inside of the box of 10 pixels. I'm doing a display inline box, which makes the width only as wide as the content. And then my font style is normal. So this removes any italic in here, and the address comes with italic. If I take this off, you can see what that looks like. So to remove that, that's the default styling. All right, so I'm going to save that. And then the paragraph inside of here, the paragraphs, I went ahead and did margin 0, so there's no space between the paragraphs. So this removes any default space in here. And then I just made the line height 1.3, and line height, I'll make it larger so you can see, is the space between each paragraph. So I'm just going to put that back to 1.3. And then we're done with this page, so I'm just going to save that. And I'm just going to open up the activities page. And I'm going to come up here and just click on activities so you can see. And what I'd like to do to this is I would like, right now it's displaying how I would like on a small screen, but on a wider screen, I would like them to be next to each other. So I'm going to go here where I have my main class of main, and then I have content. So these are going to be my items for my Flexbox. Okay, so let's go back into here. And what I would like to do is, I'm actually going to put these styles before my contact because I want to do it in the order that the element appears in my HTML layout. So I'm going to type in main, and I want this to display as flex, and I want this to have a flex wrap, and I want it to be wrap, and the wrap allows items to stack on smaller screens. And I want this to be justify content, and I want it to be center, and this will center the sections. And then I want a gap in here of 20 pixels, and I want padding to be 40 pixels, so 40 pixels all around. So you can start seeing some of the changes that are made. All right, so let's go and add in one more style. This will be for the content. The content class is what I added to my section. So I'm going to make this flex, it'll be 1, 1, and then 300 pixels. And what this will do, the width will be flexible, but it won't shrink below 300 pixels. And then I'm just going to add padding of 20 pixels around this. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and then you can see what it does. That's what it looks like when it's on a smaller screen. So the Flex 300 pixels, and ensures the content takes up the visible space while keeping the content to a minimum of 300 pixels on a smaller screen. Now, there's a couple things that I'd like to do. I'm going to add in some media queries. I've added in the media query for my hero text, the H1 tag. I've made the font size smaller. I made the font weight thinner. I added in the hero text to make this smaller, the font size smaller on a smaller screen, and the button to be a little bit smaller. So you can see when I make this a little bit larger, the change that is made to that. So I'll save my work. So with this challenge, you should now understand how to structure the HTML, and how to use Flexbox for alignment, and how to use media queries to make the layout responsive. Thank you for your time.